Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the top 10 things you need to know about your bathroom that nobody's told you before. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Homeowner Cheat Sheet, where we tell you all the things you need to know that no one bothers to tell you. And today, we're in my bathroom. This is my bathroom, and probably like yours, you have a toilet, a sink, and a shower and/or bath. I have a shower. This is a toilet. We all have seen them. We know the basic ways of how to use them. But I think with anything that is involving water, the first thing you need to know is how to shut off that water. Whenever you're dealing with a fixture that has water connected to it, the most common problem is going to be an overflow or a constant running toilet that you're going to want to shut off the water to. So you really need to know how to shut that water off, and it's going to be this little valve right here. Super simple to do. The water to the toilet is turned off, and the water is turned back on. So anytime that you have an issue with your toilet, your first step is going to go to the water shut off. You all know what this is. This is the handle so that you can flush, but there can be a lot of different kind of handles. Sometimes with a dual functioning toilet, you see the buttons on top here. But the big question that a lot of people don't have the answer to is, what is this handle connected to on the inside? So we're gonna pop the hood. Your handle here is connected to a lever that's gonna go down to a chain into your flapper valves. So when you flush, the flapper valves are gonna open up, draining the water. When that's all finished, you have a float valve here, which is connected to your water main. So the water's gonna fill up into your tank, and the float is actually gonna stop when it reaches the top. And now that the flush is already gone, you can see that the water is actually rising. The float is rising with it. So when it reaches that level, the water will actually shut off and you're good to flush again. There we go. If you have a toilet that does not stop running, first of all, that can sound really annoying throughout your house, but you're gonna wanna check two different things. One is gonna be your flapper valves. You wanna make sure that there's a seal there, because otherwise it's gonna continuously try to pull water into this tank. So if you notice that your flapper valve hasn't had that proper seal, this is a little trick. You're gonna just jiggle that handle and see if it seals properly. I just flushed mine, but if your flapper valves aren't the problem, then it's probably gonna mean that your float isn't reaching the proper height, which you can fix because they are adjustable. Oftentimes, just a quarter of a turn in either direction is going to help fix the problem and put your float where it's supposed to be. If not, you should probably call a plumber. All right, so that's your tank. The other more common problem is gonna be an overflowing toilet bowl. I'm pretty sure you can figure that out, but the only advice I can give you there is own a plunger before you need a plunger. And also maybe shut off your water, because you don't need more water coming to the toilet when it's already leaking out onto the floor. And those are the basics you need to know about your toilet. We're gonna move on to the sink now. All right, this is my sink. This is my faucet and my taps. You might have one that's all attached in one system. I have two. Drain, plug. These three holes go down your drain. It's just for overflow. Just like your toilet, the most important thing that we need to know is how to turn the water off. So we're gonna come down here, and unlike your toilet, your sink is actually fed with both hot water and cold water. So there are two shutoffs here that you're gonna reach to and shut off if you have water overflowing or any issue that has to be addressed that you have to fix and clean down here. Turn your water off. Let's talk about this while we're down here. It is actually called a P-trap because it looks like a letter P-ish. This little trap is gonna contain just a little bit of water to keep any sewage gases from coming up and out of your drain. It also acts as a little safety compartment should you drop anything down your sink and you need to get it, like a ring or anything else of value. Clogs in a sink do happen quite often, whether it's soap buildup, toothpaste, hair, any of those things. And usually those are gonna happen up here. Those things you can address by yourself, whether that's a product of liquid you buy or using tools at home so you can get a drain snake to try to clear that out by yourself. However, if that doesn't fix your problem, that means your clog's gonna be further down, and that's when you need to call a plumber to help you. You do not wanna start messing with these pipes if you don't know what you're doing. That project is not a DIY project. Call a professional. On the last stop of the 10 things that you should know about your own bathroom, we're going into the shower. Let me give you a tour. This is your temperature gauge control, hot, cold, which shower head the water's coming out of. Speaking of, shower head. Shower enclosure, whether that's glass, a curtain, if you're in a bathtub, and your water drain. The most common problem in a shower is probably a clog in your drain and a backup, but unlike your sink and toilet, the water shutoff is not normally in your shower. You're gonna need to go into your utility room, which we have another video on, so go check that out if that's an issue you're facing. You wanna shut off your water, but this is my shower drain. I have a linear shower drain, so that just means it's elongated along the wall. You can have a different drain. I love this drain because, first of all, I think it looks great. However, it comes with more maintenance. So basic concept for both, you have to make sure you maintain your drain. We're in a shower, you're gonna have soap buildup, shampoo, and hair. As you wash your hair, we all lose certain amounts of hair every single day. And guess where they go? Down the drain. So with any drain, you can take the covers off. This is where the water all goes in and it all comes down into this little drain here. I have this catch, and that's gonna catch any debris or hair so it does not go down the drain, and I can take it out and clean it out. So I'm always making sure that this is clean and functioning properly. The issue with a linear drain like this is just a lot more surface area to clean. So all the water is building up in here, and if you don't keep it clean and take care of it, you're gonna have a lot of more mildew and scum buildup, which again means more of a chance for a clog. So you have to make sure you keep it clean, take it in and out. I know people who have had issues because they weren't aware that they had to, maintain their drains. But no matter what kind of drain you do have, you still have to maintain them. Just like your bathroom sink, the majority of clogs will occur here, and you can address by buying products from a hardware store or using a drain snake. However, if you cannot fix that this way, you're gonna need to call a professional and ask for a plumber to come in. Next, we're gonna talk about a little bit of shower maintenance. First of all, you wanna make sure your shower heads are all clean and clear, because you can have some buildup depending on what type of water you have. And you'll notice that your nipples here are clogged, and so your water's not coming out properly. So you have to make sure that those are clean and your water will come out efficiently. I hang a squeegee in my shower. So after I'm done, I squeegee the glass just to make sure it's clean. You don't get that buildup or scum anywhere, and it's gonna last a lot longer. Same with all of your silicone. You wanna make sure you're looking and everything's still connected, there's no cracks. You can cut it all out and re-silicone to make sure your glass is actually staying where it is, because that silicone is holding this glass in place. If you have a tub shower, I would definitely suggest making sure you look at the silicone all around it to make sure there are no cracks, mildew buildup, because at the end of the day, this is a space that gets wet. It's hot, there's gonna be a lot of mold and mildew buildup, so the more you maintain this, the longer your products are gonna last. At the end of the day, this is a space that is all getting wet, and you wanna prevent mold and mildew. So by maintaining it, it'll help your fixtures last longer. And the best way to do that is by having a proper vented fan in your bathroom. All that heat and humidity is gonna be sucked out, vented properly outside of your house to maintain your bathroom, whether that be your paint, which you have to use a mold and mildew paint in your bathroom, or any other wet space, your finishes, your products that are in here. You don't want any rust or mold at all. All right, and those are the top 10 things you need to know about your bathroom. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. Talk to me in the comments, and I'll see you next time on the Cheat Sheet.